Welcome back to magical episode 143. I just found out last week it's the I Love You episode. And who better to have on the chosen life for the I Love You episode but the guy I love the most? He is the one and only Lahav Reznik.
How appropriate. How appropriate, buddy. Oh, my God. I love it. That's amazing.
It's so appropriate. And today's episode is going to be all about luxury, actually, in the definition of luxury.
Okay.
So first, I got to give out a shout out to our sponsor.
Please.
Because it's luxury. For your car needs, new or used, go to Instagram, Jeremiah at the Wreck. Jeremiah at the Wreck, our sponsor today. You're ready to get your brand new Nissan, your used car of your dreams. Reach out to him. He's giving deals. His manager gets so mad at him, but he says, hey, we got to move these cars. So Jeremiah at the Wreck.
I gotta add to that. Even if you're not in the market for a car, you got to follow him on Instagram because his posts are absolutely hilarious. He's great. He really, really is. He's a natural. I'll tell you. I was thinking of doing some of those myself, and I'm like, I'm not going to survive. So I'll leave it to Jeremiah. He's young. He's hungry. Yeah. So go check out his Instagram for sure.
One of his last posts, I was watching his story, and he jumps out of the trunk of the car.
I know.
Hey, I'm back.
I love it.
Yeah, he was on hiatus, and he came back really, really strong.
I love it.
Now, Jeremiah, besides also, selling cars, also has helped me with style and all that. He's a very stylish guy, actually. A good friend of mine.
For a long time. For a long time, buddy.
I got to say, you walked out on today's set. I looked at you up and down, and I said to myself, if I was tall and way better looking, that's what I would look like, because it looks like you robbed my closet, man. From the shirt to the jeans to the shoes and the watch. You're wearing Jonathan here. You're literally Jonathan.
I saw you last episode in the black. I'm like, black is really thinning, so I gotta do the black. And people who know me, they know I love sporting, the J1s. So it's not unusual for me to do that. And then you just throw on a pair of jeans. But I'd be happy to look. You're a star on your own, man. Never mind. You're a star on your own. I've seen some of the ladies on your arms. So never mind, buddy. Never mind.
Just a coincidence. I gotta tell you, man. You and I both being in the sneaker world, we're talking about jump today, right? And if we're gonna jump first thing, boom, sneakers. Do you know what my favorite pair of sneakers are? If I could have one pair, one of my favorite ones to wear of all time?
I have no idea.
The ones you have on your feet, I don't know how you knew that.
Chameleons.
I have been in love with the Chameleons since they were sitting, by the way, when they first launched. Okay, and this was, I believe they had launched back in 2018 approximately. They couldn't give them away, Lahav. The Chameleons were sitting there all day long. And the second they finally sold out, everybody wants a pair of Chameleons. The most pair of Jordan1s that I own as far as the actual model, I think I own 4 pair of Chameleons. I can't have enough Chameleons.
Wow.
I love Chameleons.
Yeah, I wear mine. I'm stuck to one. I couldn't get another one because they started getting outrageous, and now they've come back to normal. But yeah, listen, you know what? It's fun. It's all fun. But the best part is this. The best part is, so Talia, my middle daughter, God bless her, I love her. She started getting into shoes. So she started doing some research and looking at shoes and so forth and so on. And she comes to me and she goes, "Do you know those shoes you have? Do you know what those are worth? Do you know what that one's worth?" And I'm like, they're sitting in my closet. I'm wearing them once. I'm cleaning them. I'm putting them back on the shelf. And then I started doing my own sort of research, finding the boxes, doing the barcode, doing my own. And some of these shoes actually go up in value substantially. Like I didn't buy them for that purpose, right? Because the truth is, in many ways, not to compare equally, but it's like with cars. Like you could buy a certain Porsche or a certain Ferrari, for instance, and you'd expect that one model to go up because that's what the hype is. And suddenly a completely different model that you would never have liked or never have bought and suddenly is worth a lot more for whatever reason, based on supply and demand, most likely. But yeah, some of these shoes are what they're worth now. It's outrageous. The issue with finding that out is the minute I found that out, I stopped wearing them. I'm like, I wouldn't even wear them once. So there is a downside to it, but I don't know. Some lucky son-in-law is gonna inherit them most likely. So I don't know. We'll see.
The saddest day in Jeremiah's life was when he was the same shoe size as me, and then he outgrew size 10.
10 to 11.
Now
Yeah.
he's at 11, and he cannot wear them if his life depends on them.
No, I'm an 11, so if he takes care of me over the years, maybe I'll just hand over a bunch of them. How's that?
He's your new best friend.
There you
Anytime
go.
you know if
Perfect.
you need that son-in-law, Jeremiah's ready to go.
Perfect. Perfect.
Look, with some of my shoes, when it gets really, really nuts, I'll admit this. I have them in the box. I'm wearing slides. I go drive around in the slides. When I park the car, then I do the switch over into the shoes, walk around the shoes, come back to drive the car, take the shoes off, put them back in the box, put the slides back on. I will not drive in those shoes. Lahav, why am I not driving with those shoes?
Creasing, we know that. The creasing, I get it. And the reason why I'm familiar with this is it's usually every holiday party or night out that we have going on, and that's exactly what you're doing. So, hey, look, teach their own. Everybody's got their own craziness. I've got quite a few of my own, so yeah.
I can tell you one of my craziest shoe stories was when I picked up my UNC Off-White. So you got a pair on UNC's lows last week, right?
Yep.
So I had UNC Off-White, still got them, right?
Yep.
And so I picked these things up. I bought them before they were out in the stores, okay? So, usually before they launch, some people got a few pairs in. Somehow they've connects whatever the week before.
Or you're pre-buying it, that they know they're going to get a pair and you're pre-buying it and they're going to have to give you a pair.
But it's a week before they launched in the stores.
Okay.
In the U.S. So whatever pre-launch or something, somebody gets them. Usually they're crazy money, right?
Right.
I got them at because people expected them to be flooded in the market. So people were selling them at very reasonable rates. If I told you you'd cry, I wish I had bought 1 million pairs of them. Now
Right.
I'd be a gazillionaire.
5 to 6?
Canadian, I probably paid about 700 at the
Okay,
time.
yeah.
Whatever. It was like insanity.
Still a steal.
And now new, they're like whatever, 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand, whatever. Anyways, I'm wearing them out. I drove with them in the box, switched over, wearing them around, walking around the Eden Center in Toronto, Ontario, right? People in their cars at the intersection stopped their cars, got out of their cars to take pictures of me with the shoes. That's how hyped they were at the time.
Yeah, and they were most likely probably posting on Instagram going, look at this fool wearing his UNC Off-Whites in the streets. It's okay. You get to enjoy them. It's like a car. It's like you buy the cars to drive them, right? So that's the idea.
That's
the idea.
one of the shoes, though, I will say, for the money. When you actually put them on, you can tell the quality of the materials. You can tell it's not a regular Jordan 1. Well, if I did the closed eye shoe try-on test, you put on my feet, I can tell right away I'm wearing Off-Whites. There was something they did special about them. I love wearing them.
Okay, Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Okay.
All day long.
All right.
Biggest shoe regret for you?
Again,
The one that you missed out on. You should have pulled the trigger on it.
You know what? There are a few of them that I like that I should have gotten, but again, you never know where they're going to go. I don't know. Probably I had an opportunity to pick up a pair of Louis J1s, and they were like it was. The pricing was ridiculous at the time, and again, you have
Those are the red and white ones.
yeah, and you have no idea. You have no idea where they're going to go. And I basically said, look, if I get these, I'm probably not going to wear them that often anyway. And I decided not to. And then 3 weeks later, it went up $1,000 within a 3-week period. It was just, and now they're insane, to be able to buy them. So and I know you've got a similar pair. So
Mine is really bad, man. Really,
Yeah.
I got 2. It's actually related stories.
yeah.
So at the time when Chicago Off-Whites came out, that was the first Off-Whites
Right.
that were in existence, right? Could have picked up a pair because it was at the point where it got saturated and everybody started to dump them once the initial hype stopped. I'm about to pick up a pair, but at the time, money, whatever, and I'm about to go to New York City to SneakerCon. It's in December. We're talking right now about 2017, 2018, and I'm heading to SneakerCon New York. So I'm like, man, okay, I shouldn't blow my money here. I should wait to SneakerCon, pick them up there. So I did not buy the the Off-White Chicagos.
Right.
You know where those went. But even worse than Off-White Chicagos, I got a tip from Jeremiah. He said to me at the time, the Rust Pinks and the Igloos, those were the Florida Basil exclusives.
Right.
At the time, you could have picked those on GOAT, 1,500 or so. He goes, you need to get these. Trust me. Did not pick them up. You know what the prices are like
Yeah,
now.
this is crazy.
It's just,
crazy.
it's utterly...
You can't have regrets. I mean, we're talking about shoes, really. In fairness,
Yes.
it would be nice to have. They're not there, not a big deal. Pretty straightforward.
So you and I bond very often about shoes and sneakers, kicks, whatever you want to call them. How many times have I come to your office at Forest Hill Vaughan? We're gonna have a seminar. You check what's on my feet. I check what's on your feet. We talk about them. We compare.
Every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Every
How much did
Tuesday?
you pay? Ooh, I paid $10 less. Ha ha ha.
Every Tuesday, yeah, pretty much.
We have a
yeah.
lot of fun with that. I actually don't know the story. What or who got you into sneakers? The disease that is this habit of ours. How did you get into it?
I might have to actually blame you for it, to be honest with you. I mean, I had you know, I had a variety of shoes, and I didn't stick to one style in particular, which I do now. But I would say it's your fault.
So that's my fault.
It's your fault, and so I thank you for that sickness. But it's okay. It's all right. Not a bad thing.
So you know how last week I told you in the episode I thanked the guy who introduced me to Lahav, and Lahav opens up my world.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about osmosis? So I'm the one who got you into it. Well, the guy who got me into it is the guy behind the camera right now, the videographer.
Right.
So at the time, I had a very bad foot issue, which I still have on occasion. You see me when I'm limping around and everything else, right? And it sucks when you have medical conditions and they don't always know. The specialist befuddled. He tells me, "Oh, you have this condition, but we don't really know what kind of it is. We don't know what causes it, and we don't know how to fix it." Great, but
Welcome to Canada's medical system. Yeah, go on.
horrific. We're
not going to start with that.
We will not start with that. Yeah. No, but I remember, you know, I went for about 6-8 months, barely walking. My right foot's like twice the size of my left foot. I'm barely walking. I'm wearing these god awful sandals, right? And when I'm finally starting to heal, I'm telling the videographer, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm starting to heal. My foot's coming down, but I don't know what to wear because my shoe. As soon as I fit my foot into any shoe, it freaks out because the top of the shoe, it's putting pressure on the top of my foot. He says to me, why don't you try Jordan1s? You know what? High tops. I'm like, I've never owned a pair of high tops in my life. He's like, try the Jordan1 high tops. I'm telling you, should make a big difference. And I tried on my first pair. I've always liked Nikes. I've always been a size 10 since high school. Put on my first pair, love at first sight. And I've always been wearing Jordan1 since. So actually, it's his fault why I got into it. So now it's actually his fault why you're into it.
There you go. I blame the doctor. It's okay. I'm totally good with that. Totally good with that.
And you know what? I don't know if you find the same thing, but you know, there's all sorts of crazy styles and out there of everything else. Something about the high OG Jordan1, nothing touches it in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the looks. Normally, a lot of people recognize them and they'll fist pump you, and you know, especially if they're a rare pair or whatever it might be. You do get compliments, just like a woman would with a bag in many ways, right? So very, very similar.
It's actually quite similar. Or the red bottoms.
Right. Exactly.
And it's funny because I do have the occasional red bottom that I like to purchase. And I got to say, the red bottom, if you do change the insole, I'm quite amazed how comfortable they are as well. But that's a different kind of style. But you can see a standard red bottom, Laboutine, high top. It's Jordan1-ish to some degree.
Many ways. Yep.
Yeah. Any red bottoms for you?
I've got one pair. Yeah. Don't wear them often.
No. And it's funny, when you start an outfit, I got to ask you, because everybody does it differently. I've been told I'm very weird. I start my outfits bottom up. I pick which sneaker I'm going to go with.
I
pick the rest of the outfit accordingly. How do you go with your outfits?
Opposite. I'll go with typically the top that I want to wear, and then I'll work the shoes off of that. Very simple. But no.
Do you find as well, if you have one flashy item, whether it's a belt, it's a jacket, something, everything else has to be subdued? It's hard to go too flashy on everything? Or how do you choose?
Absolutely. I mean, the contrast, the conflict. I mean, I'm not a fashion guru or.
He's pretty darn good, people.
Nah, but you know what? You know when too much is too much.
Yeah. And then it's interesting because we meet up, obviously, at these seminars together. And we also seem to have an affection for Barbados wear.
Yeah.
How is that we like the Jordan1s, the Barbados? When did you discover Barbados? What is it about their style?
A while ago, buddy. That's one of those things. That's the one store. You know, I think everybody would have that one store that if money was no object, if they won the lottery and they were okay to spend a little craziness on, like, that would be, I could walk into that store and just pretty much wear anything and everything. It's very cowboyish. It's got a lot to it. It's got different styles, different approaches, everything.
And you know right away when it's Barbados. I'm the same way. It's funny because I have my clothing guy, Ed's. I don't know if you've been over there. Ed Fine Imports, right? Yep. Down in Markham. And Ed knows I'm a Barbados guy. I remember him calling me one day. He says, bro, I got this leather jacket, Barbados. It's my last one. It's on third markdown. No one wants to buy it. Can you please buy it? Trust me. And I went over there. 2 seconds later, it's mine. You know, that's the way it goes.
Love it. Again, in very ways. A lot of times, women with purses, they'll get the call from, wherever it might be, YSL, Gucci, wherever it might be. They're going to get the call saying, "Hey, this purse just came in. We have it on hold for you. Just come pick it up."
And the way we call them kicks, sneakers instead of shoes, they call them bags, right?
Yes.
And this is where I'm gonna have to stop today because, man, there's so much. We got through sneakers. We talked about our affection for it. We're still talking about the world of luxury. With your permission, I'd like to come back next week because I want to touch about a couple more items of luxury you and I share in common.
If you want me back, I
gotta
will
have
be
you back.
I love this.
Can
Yes.
I give a teaser for everybody?
Yeah, sure.
It tends to be, we talked about, a lot of ladies like their pumps, they like their bags. Men with their sneakers, kicks, timepieces, and automobiles. We got to get into those worlds.
All right,
man.
love it. It's a lot of fun.
This is the Chosen Life podcast. Lahav Reznik, Forest Hill Real Estate. Lahav, when people want to reach out to you for fashion advice, life advice, real advice, what's the best way to reach out to you?
No fashion advice. You guys want real estate advice? You want a fun page to watch? Go to Lahav_Reznik on Instagram. I've also got another page that I just started. It's my_old_fashion_ways. My old fashioned ways. It's just a little bit about cigars and some good drinks, and it's a fun page.
This man doesn't just prescribe to the chosen life. He is the chosen life.
Love you.
Stay tuned next week, and this has been the I Love You episode 143.